Welcome back to Lee Pitts Live. So glad you stayed with us. One of my favorite organizations is on the show today, the Children's Network of Southwest Florida. We're going to talk about the upcoming holiday season and how you can change the life of a child by doing some good. And you'll find out all about how to do that. Karen Turcotte, the toy lady, is here again from the Children's Network. We'll say that. We'll get her former title. And Pat O'Connor Benson, a member of the Foster Care Advisory Services. They are both up here. Let's bump you in. Like that. Welcome to Lee Pitts Live again.
Good morning. Welcome.
Why do I call you the toy lady?
So Children's Network each year has an annual toy drive called Operation Santa. And again, this year we're going to be serving about 2,000 children here in Southwest Florida. And part of my responsibility with Children's Network is to oversee and manage and recruit volunteers and donations to help support our kids in foster care this Christmas season.
And I have you as your title, Staff Development. Is that still correct?
Yep.
What does staff development mean? You got a job for me?
Yes, we always have a job. We are always recruiting.
Okay.
So my role at Children's Network as the Director of Staff Development is to oversee all of the training of all of our caseworkers who work specifically with our kids.
Okay.
I oversee the grants, our accreditation, family mentor program, and a teen outreach program.
You do a great job over there. If I recall, you've been there over 10 years, right? Because the last time
21.
Everybody who works for the Children's Network, they've been there 100 years.
Yeah.
Man, that must be a great place to work. You got to have a personal love for what you do.
Absolutely.
Expound on that, if you please.
So, you know, at Children's Network, we're a family. And you can't take care of other families unless you take care of your own family first. And we believe in the culture of our organization. Our leadership has been foundational since 2003 when we started Children's Network. And, you know, people love to be part of something that's bigger than themselves. And to serve children is the greatest gift.
You're over there with Nadare Salim and Michelle over there too. I work closely with them.
Yes.
So great job they do over there. Nadare, the executive, the CEO, and the president. Shout out to you, Nadare. I see you out there. Before I come over to you, I called you the toy lady. Can I get credit for being the, you know, starting the whole toy lady name?
Yes, you can. I usually go by Mrs. Claus, but I kind of like toy lady.
Oh, right. That's
okay. That has like a
Lee
nice ring
Pitts
to it.
At your next meeting, say, hey, Lee Pitts officially calls me the toy lady. So you come back next year.
Okay,
It's my brand. I'm giving it to you for free.
Thank you.
Everybody knows what that is. Pat, first of all, what's it like having the opportunity to work with the toy lady?
It's phenomenal. I've known Karen for a very long time, and I'm happy to be working with her in this capacity through Foster Care Advisory Services. And we were established almost 40 years ago. I can't believe it. I haven't been there for 40 years. I've been there for about 20.
Oh, really?
I'd like to shout out to Charles Johnson, who's our president of Foster Care Advisory Services. Wonderful man. But in any event, every year we partner up with Children's Network and try to provide different organizations who are happy to coordinate getting gifts together and bringing them over to Children's Network for distribution by the toy lady.
Got to be rewarding personally to know that you're making a difference in the community, huh?
Well, it sure is, and it's almost like a immediate gratification, because right at Christmas time, you know, those kids are so happy to get what they get. And oh, for this year, the impact of the hurricane, who knows what it's going to be. We're still trying to figure it out. But those kids are going to be very deserving this year. But I think we're all up for the challenge, and we want to make it the best Christmas.
It's going to all work out. It always does. And one of the things with the Children's Network, I say it always does. Things just always work out. We got through the pandemic together. Things worked out. Had your virtual walk. It's just the way. It's just the orbit of the world works for when you're doing something good. Now you mentioned foster care services, right?
Yeah, foster care advisory services.
Right. I want to know a little bit more about what is that.
Yeah, we were, as I said, established almost 40 years ago by a group of women who worked at the Department of Children and Families and saw a need for a nonprofit to get donations to help for Christmas gifts. That's how it all started. But now we've expanded, but we're a completely all volunteer organization. We have no overhead, so any money, donations we collect go straight to the children. In some events, there are children that are being taken away from homes in the middle of the night with nothing but clothes on their backs. We step in for foster care advisory services with Children's Network and provide emergency funds to get clothing, to get school supplies, whatever they need, because they need it overnight very quickly. But we also help out with the Christmas drive, Thanksgiving turkeys, and also every year we have a Gift of Hope, it's called. It's named after my husband, actually, my late husband, James Benson. It's Gift of Hope that we award to at least 3 children every year. They're not children, they're young adults that are graduating out of foster care and into independent living. And they just need a little bit of a nudge with some funds to maybe put a down payment on a car or to help with buying some new furniture for their new apartment or a new room where they're staying. So that's where foster care advisory services
It's great, and we have the website and the phone number, Children's Network on the screen where people will be able to go for all information, certainly concerning what we're getting ready to talk about now in terms of Santa. But before I leave you on this one, I'll be back to you. I want to know when you say we, in terms of your organization, how many people are we? What counties are you in? That type of thing.
Well, again, we're an all-volunteer organization. We have about 6 members on our board. We have our treasurer, Rena Gazar. We have our president, Charles Johnson, our vice president, Dominic Manella. The rest of us are board members, and like I said, it's a mixture of people from primarily Lee County.
Okay.
And we do, provide any child that needs. We're covering all of Southwest Florida. So anybody in Southwest Florida, any child in need that needs. Maybe sometimes we provided summer camp payments, for kids that in the summertime have no place to go, things like that. So we take in all kinds of offers. Again, we work very closely with Children's Network.
Keep up the good work.
To get information from them on the kids that we need to target.
Now let's go straight to it. Operation Santa. Let's mobilize the community to get into operation. Individuals, businesses, anybody who want to do some good, and as the holiday season is coming, what do they need to do? Dates, times, go.
Okay, so all of our donation page is open right now. So we have a QR code available. Folks can open their camera, open their heart, donate directly to our website. We have a specific account for Operation Santa, so all the funds that are donated between now and Christmas towards that fund will be spent specifically here in Lee County on our kids in foster care for Christmas.
I'll be going to that website as soon as we finish this interview. Go ahead.
Fantastic. So we have also our toy drive that is running. We are accepting donations beginning December 5th, which is a Monday, and we're going to be taking those toys in between Monday and Friday, and our goal for distribution will be that weekend. So Monday the 5th through Friday the 9th, toys are going to come into our office at 4150 Ford Street Extension.
That will be December.
Yes, December 5th through the 9th, we'll accept toys. Again, we'll be accepting donations throughout the month, all the way up into, including Christmas. We know that unfortunately kids will come into our system daily sometimes, and so we want to make sure every child is served. Folks can also donate through sponsoring specific kids. So if they're interested in having a specific child, we are hopeful this year that folks are going to open their hearts and consider gift cards as well as a stocking stuffer. We're looking to give the kids an opportunity to especially our teenagers who want to go shopping for themselves and want to pick out those items. So we're looking for gift cards to Walmart, Target, Amazon, Visa, those main businesses that we know our teens like to shop at.
Now I'm old school. I just prefer to just give cash. What has been the trend? Do you see more people want to give cash, or they want to buy a gift? How do you see it? Let me put this in there. You prefer brand new toys, right, and not opened and things like that.
Correct. So
go ahead and expound on that.
Everything that comes in for Christmas that's going to be distributed and put under a Christmas tree we need new.
Okay.
Just like you and I buy new gifts for our kids, our community's kids are also our kids, and we want to make sure that they have something new to open as well. We do accept some gently used things throughout the course of the year, but Christmas we want to focus on having new things.
Cash or the toy, which will you see?
I mean, honestly, cash is easier. You know, there are lots of needs that are out there. We can spread that around a little bit easier. Some of our families are struggling with transportation to be able to get to our distribution sites. So if we can have our caseworkers bring out to them, it's much easier to transport a gift card than it is to transport a bike or things that are, you know, larger packages.
Age range?
0 up to 21.
Okay.
I say 21 because, like Pat said, we have lots of kids. We have about 50 kids that have transitioned out of our system but are still within some of our programming. We want to make sure that every kid that's in our care has something this Christmas.
Pat, tell us about the logistics behind the scenes on getting the toys to the children. How does that work? Operation Santa.
Yes, for our part of Operation Santa, we have a bunch of old reliables, I call them. They're organizations, little groups of just colleagues sometimes that gather and give us the names. Foster Care Advisory Services work through us with getting the gifts over to Karen and Children's Network. But places like Allen International that every year comes together and gives us, this year they're going to sponsor 100 kids. Bobby Noonan Daycare Center in Cape Coral, they're going to sponsor 50 kids. So Karen gives me the names and the ages of these kids. I provide it to the different organizations that we're affiliated with. They gather the gifts, we go to them and bring them all over to the
like
toilet.
little elves.
Yes, and lots of little elves that are over there.
Toyland, if I remember, it was a big place off was Metro Parkway or something like that.
Metro and Winkler.
Wow, my memory is still.
You're good.
That's amazing.
I
don't even remember it.
Yeah. I don't know if I physically got a chance to go there, but I know Nada Ray has shared pictures with me and just looking at all those people wrapping those gifts and everything. And that's another thing you guys are able to relieve people having to wrap gifts. If they want to wrap them, they can. Expound on that if you don't mind.
So people who want to support specific children, like Pat said, if they say, hey, I want to take 10 kids, then we'll give them the name, age, gender, and a unique identifier for confidentiality purposes, and they'll purchase for the kids, wrap them, bring them to us. Toy drives, we don't wrap, because we want to make sure that we're able to, you know, sort them appropriately, and we do have some green bags and some red bags, and we will gather our volunteers together and make sure that each bag has about $50 to $60 worth of gifts.
Okay.
And we will divide them out. So when our families come, you know, sometimes what happens is we might have grandma who's got 2 foster kids, but she might also be taking care of a couple of her own children as well, or some other kids that are not part of our system. We want to make sure that when she leaves there, she has something for each child that's in her home. So all families that are connected to us, we make sure that we have something meaningful for every child that's in that home. So our toy drives are really important.
Okay.
They allow us to fill in those gaps every day that we have our list today, but tomorrow, right, more kids are coming in and some kids hopefully are going home. So we have to have that extra to be able to fill in those gaps.
I mean, it's so great that we have an organization that's keeping its eye on the ball and all the partners that are working together. And a lot of us who are fortunate, now I'm relatively fortunate, but I grew up extremely in poverty. And my mom used to get out toys from Toys for Tots. I don't know if that still exists before. You probably heard of it. And boy, we used to be so excited when a little toy came home when I was a little kid, and my mom would go to Toys for Tots.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget getting my little Star Trek gun. That's when Star Trek first started back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And I would get my phaser. It came in when I opened up the box, I had a phaser.
And we have amazing partners in this community. Everybody comes together each year. You know, Excel Supplies and all of their vendors through their distribution company take hundreds of children. Cape Coral Police Department sponsors us every year with a toy drive. They select 3 schools and they fill a boat. Everything from one person coming in to say, I can help one family to an organization that comes in and says, I can help 500 kids. You know, it's important. Everybody matters. Every dollar matters.
Before we go, what is the Children's Network of Southwest Florida? Very basic.
Very basic. We are here to protect children and preserve families. That's our mission. That's our goal. And
through foster care and adoption?
Foster care, adoption, protective supervision, diversion programming, you know, everything from the beginning pieces out through permanency. And our goal is to make sure ultimately kids are safe.
There you go. Well, ladies, it's been a pleasure having you both on the show.
Thank you.
And I was able to get Pat right, see?
You got it.
At the last second. Let me bump you all out. Remember, for those who say it can't be done, they are usually interrupted by those like these fine ladies who are associated with the Children's Network of Southwest Florida. And Miami may have the oranges, but Fort Myers has got the
juice.
We'll be right back.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello everybody, this is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show, and if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch Lee Pitts Live on demand anytime, and also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live, and there you go.